Hi, I'm Alexa, and it's been a long day. I've no set main topic, but I have a couple of little things to talk about. So let's go in the order I put them on the cover image. I put them in alphabetical order because that made sense today. So for those who don't know, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, he was at the time, he might still have that record. He was the youngest person elected to be mayor of a city with over a certain amount. I think it's 100,000 people. When he was elected to that position, goodness, I was like just trying to think of the city for a minute. And I want to say it was in Ohio, but I don't remember. It happens. I forget stuff. He was only 29. He was, in 2019, a very, very strong contender for the Democratic nomination. There were a ridiculous number of candidates. I had to look this up. I went to the 2019 Polk County Steak Fry, which was for the 2020 candidates, Democratic candidates who were vying for the nomination. So I keep thinking of it as the 2020 steak fry, but it wasn't. It was the 2019 steak fry with the 2020 candidates. I had to look this up because I couldn't remember the exact number of people who spoke there. 17 different people spoke. They each got 10 minutes. And I actually received a ticket from someone. I don't think I would have chosen to have gone like myself. I'm open to hearing serious candidates from whatever party they come from, whether it's one of the two major ones, whether it's some of the smaller candidates. I'd like to hear all of them. So having this opportunity to hear them, and I did have a candidate that I preferred, and they did not win the nomination. I did, however, get my picture taken with them, which was very exciting and is still one of the better memories that I have in terms of my civic engagement. I was in the process of becoming a citizen at the time, and I had told nobody that I was doing it. And you literally get like 10 seconds with the person, and I took about 30, and I said, I'm becoming a citizen, and I hope that I get to vote for you next year. I hope that I'm a citizen in time to vote for you. Spoiler alert, I got my citizenship about a week or two after the Iowa caucuses, and they did not get the nomination. And so I never got to vote for them, but it's okay. It is what it is. It was a very interesting day. I heard Mayor Pete speak there, and my entire thing and my recollection of what I thought of him at the time is he's incredibly intelligent. He's too young. He hasn't had as much experience as some of these other candidates. There were candidates on that stage, and probably 6 of them would have been excellent presidents. And out of 17, and then I think there was actually an 18th candidate, but they weren't able to speak there that day. I have a from the Des Moines Register. I'll put a link in the description so you can go read about it if you want to. But it was a very interesting day. Well, Mayor Pete held a rally. I think that town hall I don't think we would call it a rally because he's technically not running for anything right now, at least not officially. They were in Cedar Rapids, Iowa last night. It was hosted by an organization called Vote Vets, VOTEVETS, and they are, from my understanding, they are a nonprofit, and their raison d'etre, the reason they were formed, was to help elect veterans into various positions, support veteran candidates who would vote to help veterans, right? So as a veteran, they are saying that that person will understand veteran needs better than someone who is not a veteran. And I totally understand it. Representation is important no matter the group you're coming from. I am not a veteran myself. I would not have been accepted. I had health issues that would have got me completely medically, nope, thanks, but no thanks. I mean, at the time, I also was not in any type of mental state where I would have been able to deal with it. When I was younger in England, I was a part of an organization. It's a nonprofit. It's not officially part of the Navy or anything, but it's called Sea Cadets. And they use and teach all of the rules and customs and things of the Royal Navy. And I did very much enjoy it. I was with them for 3 years, I think. And I did several communications badges. I learned Morse code, semaphore, a whole bunch of stuff. And I was doing amazing at it. And when I moved to America, there really wasn't anything over here like that I could go to, at least not that I know of where we lived. So at one point, it would have been a very viable and probably a very good option for me. And if I had never moved to America, that realistically could be something I might have gone into. Having said that, I don't need to be a veteran to understand that when we ask people to risk life and limb, literally going to places that no person should ever need to go, we have a responsibility to take care of them when they come home. And I am so frustrated that there has been so much lip service on how certain people support our veterans every day, and then they talk crap about them and they defund veteran services and so on. So if you haven't been paying attention, there is a not actual government department currently headed up by Elon Musk, even though in legal filings they're trying to say he isn't heading it up, when, well, our president literally says in literally every time he's asked about it, oh yeah, he heads it, right? Like, to the press. It's They have been on a mission that is not the one they're claiming. They claimed they were going to save $2 billion, is it, in fraud and waste, and then they put it down to 1 billion. Then they rounded it down to like 100 and something million, 150 million or something, 160 million. Today, I was reading that 31 or 32 of the line items that they have on their website still claiming that those were savings from fraud have actually been disproven and need to be deleted, which brings their total down to less in savings. And I do quote the word because it's not saving anything. It has now saved us less than it has cost us to pay these people. What they really were doing was going in and downloading illegally off of secure servers onto hard drives that you can unplug and take with you. Sorry, I'm blanking on the word there. They've downloaded all of our data illegally. And the AI bot that Musk has been pushing for years now, that is nowhere near where he claimed it would be in like 2016. He said it would be like one of the best by 2016 or something like that. And we're almost a decade later, and it's not even as good as other ones out there from what I'm understanding tech people telling us. He now has every single bit of verified personal data of US-based people. It's not just citizens, it's also immigrants, anyone who is technically undocumented but has paid taxes, everything. They have access to it. What an AI bot could learn from that data illegally learn from that data, and the damage that can be done to us as individuals, as society, is mind-blowingly terrifying if you actually look into what could be done with that data. And the security lapses of that team, I'm getting off on a tangent, but bear with me, I'm almost done. The security lapses of this team that have been proven over and over again, that these children, because he literally has hired children who do not know better yet, who worship the myth of this man. If there's one thing that Musk has been good at, it is self-marketing. He is not a self-made billionaire. He did not create Tesla. He did not create some of the other products that he claims he invented. He didn't. But he is a master manipulator and self-marketer. I'll give him that credit. Okay? He only hires these people who have bought into the myth and think he's amazing, and he has them basically isolated in an echo chamber, and they don't know that what they're doing is illegal, downloading that. I mean, maybe they do and they don't care. They, along with the nominees that should never have been confirmed into several positions, secretary of this, secretary of that, many of them are now being called to testify why they lied under oath in their confirmation hearings. Literally, they would say in their confirmation hearing, I don't believe this should happen, I'm not going to do it. And the day after or the week after they get sworn in, they do exactly the opposite of what they said in their confirmation hearings. That is the literal epitome of lying under oath. And I don't understand how lying under oath is okay to any of us. I don't. They are gutting the VA. Thousands upon thousands of jobs are being slashed at a moment in time when our veterans and active duty who will become veteran at some point, they need mental, physical health care. And the VA provides that. And those services, there is zero possibility that these services are not impacted by the slash and burn, absolutely non-data driven, ridiculous, blow it up and fix it later approach that is being taken. I find it absolutely morally disgusting that there is a single person in Congress that there is even one single person, let alone an entire freaking party, that is not speaking out about this egregious failure on our part to help the people who have kept our country safe and given their lives and their limbs and their health and everything for us. Vote Vets is trying to help. Like I said, they support candidates who are veterans because veterans know they know more about what veterans needs than non-veterans. So they hosted this town hall, and part of me is thinking, like, why? What's the point, right? It's not an election year. The midterms, I don't think Pete's going to run for Senate or Congress against someone. I mean, maybe he could, and maybe he could beat an incumbent in some, I'm not exactly sure where he and his family live. But if he could, I doubt that. I think he is a sort of nod, wink, wink, I'm going to be running for president. And I think what makes the most sense to me is that he doesn't have a job. He's not a secretary in a cabinet. He's not, a senator or a representative. He's not the governor of a state. He's not the mayor of anywhere anymore. Like, he has time on his hand. For the past 4 years, our current president had nothing to do. So what he did was he got out there and marketed himself over and over and over again, saying the same nonsense over and over, keeping his name in the press. It has been studied. People are more likely to vote based on recognizing a name than based on the issues that they say they care about. They don't know what a candidate stands for. but they know the name and they think if I know the name, I must like them. And this is all humans. This is a psychological thing. It's from town, city, elections, all the way up to the big ones, right? Like, name recognition. That is the number one factor most people use when they vote. And I have had to question myself. Why am I voting for certain people? I have not missed a single election from city all the way up to national since I became a citizen. I'm pretty proud of that fact. I'm sure at some point I'll miss one because I don't hear about it or something, but I've been very, very consciously making sure that I get out there and I do these things. Mm-hmm. I think that that's what Pete's doing, is he is getting name recognition out there. He has the smarts. He has the orator, the speaker skills. He is so good at taking a very complex issue and breaking it down into a very simple, understandable explanation. And what he's really good at that a lot of us struggle at, whether it's you're a politician or you're just in your family, when we are mad or disagreeing with someone right in front of us and they're sort of, we feel like we're being attacked by their opposing views, a lot of us are not then able to eloquently and concisely, I guess is a good word, rebut their argument, but in a logical way that they can listen to and not feel like we're attacking them. He can do that. There have been a lot of viral clips in the past couple weeks of him literally being on Fox News or other conservative talk show hosts where he's gotten conservatives to actually say, whoa, I agree with you. One of them, it was I think they're in their 20s. It was these conservative guys on a podcast. And they basically said, oh my God, we agree with that. We must be becoming liberals. And like they were joking that Pete was turning them into liberals, which it doesn't make you a liberal to have common sense beliefs, which is what he was talking about. Anyway, he's very good at that. So I think he will, unless something really, really weird happens in the next year and a half, I think he'll announce his candidacy for the Dem nominee. I don't know, maybe late next year, early the year after. So they would be campaigning not next year, but in 2027, because the nominees are chosen. The caucuses start in 2028, January, early February, through to whatever the last day I think is in May. And then obviously the conventions are sometime July, August range. And then the two presidential candidates from the two major parties, we don't normally have a third candidate. Then it kicks into their debates and like 4 or 5 months of dealing with that nonsense. There's something to be said about the English style of you get like 4 to 6 weeks or something to campaign and that's it. The whole Brexit thing, Boris Johnson went around the country for months in that bus splashing with the thing saying they were going to give all of that money that came back from, if they voted for Brexit, they give all that money to the NHS. None of it went to the NHS. But his name was in the press every single frickin' time he went and did a campaign stop, did something ridiculous or outrageous. It wasn't bad enough to disqualify him. It was like clumsy and endearing and really hiding how bad he was in terms of the policies for the country and how leaving the European Union is like saying, I don't want to save money at Sam's Club. I'm going to shop at this tiny little store that charges 15 times more per single item instead of buying in bulk. That's complete side note and winding there. The second thing on my list, let's move on because this is already at 20 minutes. Gardening. I should have a video. I'm going to have to do it in 2 videos, I think. I've got some stuff filmed. I just have to find time to edit and edit in a way I like and I'm comfortable with. So I don't think I'll have it up for this weekend, but maybe Wednesday or maybe Saturday next week, like a week on Saturday. I'm thinking I might have my first video, and then I think I have enough for the second video. I have spent quite a lot of time over the past 2 weeks out at my little garden plot. I have been really enjoying it. I have found that with all of the insanity that's been going on, the physical labor of slowly, very slowly and carefully, weeding and turning over the soil and getting it ready has been like calming in a way. They say when you are anxious or stuck, you can't make decisions, you're overwhelmed, whatever it is, they say make something. You could knit a scarf, you could draw a picture, you could make a cake, do something and make something. And I feel like that is, I'm seeing that play out with myself when I'm doing this. So I have actually got planted outside. One of the reasons this is so late tonight is I spent 2 hours at my garden plot tonight. I didn't mean to. I thought I mixed up where I had that little chart where I want to plant stuff, and I had mixed up in my mind where I was planting the peas, and I thought I had already weeded enough, and I needed to weed another 2 foot. And I could have switched some stuff around, but I wanted them where they were so that when the corn grows higher, they're not in the shade. So I weeded an extra 2 foot, 6 foot across, 2 foot. And then there was a massive stone. I've been finding several. They're not stones. It's like concrete. It's like old road or something. This is the third plot that I've had, and they've all been in different rows and different spaces. This one has the most even little rocks in it that I have seen. But I've pulled out 2 really big, they're concrete blocks, but we're just going to call them rocks. 2 big rocks. This one I found tonight, I couldn't even uncover all of it. I gave up. I was like, it's not worth my time right now. I don't know that I'm going to plant anything right there. I think it's close enough to where I'm going to put the peppers that like it's off to the side in the corner of that. I think it's 2 foot by 2 foot squares. And like there's a foot between the peas and that. Like I'm like, I don't think I need to dig it up. I met someone else who has a couple of the plots there, and we're talking and it was very pleasant. And then he randomly was like, oh, did you want the rest of this done? I have a tiller. I could do it for you. And I was like, I was like, I mean, if you'd like to, that would be really awesome. Very much appreciated. I don't know who I am or what I did with the real Alexa, but I actually, for part of me is like, I should have said no, because I have been enjoying. I don't understand this, you guys. This is the weirdest thing ever, but I've been enjoying the physical process of weeding and getting this turned over, and I feel like I know what I'm doing, which is this. How hard is it to turn soil over and pull weeds out, right? But I feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel like I have a better handle on it this year. My videos will show some of that, I hope. I feel like I'm over-promising, and now they're going to be really bad videos when I get them up. But now that I've done the pea section, and then I did actually get the peas planted as well. They needed to be planted out. Most of them were about 10 inches tall already, so it was time to put them out. I've done about 9 feet on the east side of the plot, and then I did a little over 3 foot on the other end, because that's where I direct sowed the acorn squash and the mini pumpkins. So I've got the corn in, I've got my peas planted in tonight. There's space between the peas and the corn that I'm going to put some other stuff in, but I have to wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. I'm going to wait. And then the other end, I had to get those put in there. And then the middle section is where the broccoli and the peppers are going. And those are they're not big enough to transplant outside yet. I want them to grow hardier, bigger, and more ready to be outside. So it's that middle section. It's about 7 to 8 foot. So we'll see. We'll see what if or when he's able to do it. I'm going to go up there tomorrow to water stuff, unless it rains. It might rain. And then either Friday or Saturday, I'll be back out there to film, hopefully, the last bit for the second video I have planned. Again, I just have to find time to edit them and then put a voiceover on them. I don't have a connection to my camera for a microphone, and it's not going to get the sound of, I can't talk while I'm there, so it doesn't pick any of it up. So I'll have to do a voiceover, maybe some music, but yeah, I'm gonna try. And hopefully the first one, it won't be this Saturday. I don't have time to do it before Saturday, but probably next weekend. So a week on Saturday, hopefully I'll have the first one ready for you. And then the last thing, this is the silliest thing, but when I was in Massachusetts for Christmas, we actually went down to Rhode Island. We went down for a couple of reasons, but as we were going between our two of our stops, we saw this muffin shop, and I think it's called My Favorite Muffin. And they were so good. They were like just really delicious muffins, very big. They were dense. They were everything you want in a muffin. And I had looked them up because on the box, they're actually a chain. So they have multiple locations around the country, but they don't have enough yet that there's not one in Chicago that if I ever go into Chicago, I could go get some. And I don't know if they ship. I don't remember if they ship, but I really don't need to be shipping muffins to myself. But a couple months ago, I was just, I'd been thinking about these muffins for like 2-3 months at that point. I was like, I got to go buy some muffins. So we have a couple of supermarkets around. I found that the Jewel Osco ones are probably the most, gourmet is a word people throw around. I don't think they're gourmet, but they're probably the best in terms of what I was looking for. They're a heavier muffin. Some muffins are like light and cakey, and I'm like, that's not what I want. When I want a muffin, I want it to be like dense and delicious, right? Well, I bought a 4-pack, and it had double chocolate chip, cinnamon, coffee cake, strudel, something. And then it had a pistachio one. And I was like, well, I like the other 3. I've had pistachio ice cream. I like that. I eat pistachios sometimes. I was like, I'll try it, right? A lot of people like it. So this muffin, it's not exactly, but it's really, really similar and reminiscent of marzipan or like an almond cake. So Scratch cupcakes, I don't know if they're all over the place, but they're here in Iowa in a couple of locations. They have what they call a wedding cake, and it's an almond flavored cake, and delicious. These pistachio muffins, they remind me of this. So it's been another like month or 2, and I've been really thinking about this pistachio muffin again. So I bought some last night. I bought a variety of muffins again, but I did make sure I had the pistachio ones. What's your favorite muffin? Do you like pistachio muffins? Have you ever had pistachio muffins? Is there one that a random flavor you've had that like is uncommon that you think about and can't find anymore? Like, I don't know. Let me know what your favorite muffin is. Keep it clean, folks. Remember my 0 tolerance policy. I'm genuinely talking about food. Chocolate chip muffins, pistachio muffins. Keep it clean. Open yourself up to weird things on YouTube, right? That's what I got. If you made it this far, thank you. As always, I will see you on the next one. Be kind to yourself.